Okay, let's start the topic with thermodynamics. Now, thermodynamics means what? The term therm means heat, and dynamics means a study of force. As you have studied in physics, that dynamics is concerned with force and the equilibrium that is achieved by the force, by the balance of the force. So, we will study thermodynamics with heat as a guiding force in all the terms that will come in thermodynamics. Okay, so there are two ways to study thermodynamics. First one is microscopic approach and second one is microscopic approach. Now the term macro means large. Okay, so this approach is applied when the continuum concept is valid. Okay, so in the continuum concept it is assumed that matter is continuously distributed and there are no voids in it. Okay, so when the matter is assumed as a continuum, we take the microscopic approach, and when the individual behavior of the molecules are considered, we take the microscopic approach. Okay, so there are two methods to study thermodynamics. First one is micro, means large, and second one is micro, means small, which constitute the molecules. Okay, we study in physics also as a point object, and point object means it is just a small size and having just mass. So in similar to that, we have in thermodynamics two concepts: microscopic approach and microscopic approach. Okay, now in thermodynamics we deal with system, surrounding, and the surface that separates the system with the surrounding. Okay, so system may be open or closed one. Okay, so if it's a fixed mass system, means it's a closed system, and if it's a fixed volume system, it means it's a open system. Okay, so system is the a space upon which the study is focused. Okay, and surrounding is everything that is outside the system, and boundary, as I have said, that it is the surface that separates the system and surrounding. It may be a real one or it may be an imaginary one. Okay, so whatever it is, if it separates the system and surrounding, it's a boundary. Now type of systems, as I have said before, that there are two types of system: open system and closed system. Open system is also called control volume or flow system. Okay, so in flow system we have two types of flow: a steady flow and an unsteady flow. A steady flow means the properties does not change with time, and unsteady with means it varied the property varies with time. So in open system both the energy and mass transfer happens, while in the closed system only energy transfer happens and no mass transfer. Okay, now there is also third kind of system, which is an isolated one, in which there is neither energy transfer nor mass transfer. Now properties of the system. The properties of the system may be extrinsic or intrinsic. So intensive or intrinsic properties are the properties which does not depend on the mass. Okay, so pressure, temperature, density and viscosity are the properties that are intensive, means they do not depend on the mass of the system. Then properties like volume and energy that depends on the mass of the system are called extensive properties or extrinsic properties. Okay, now between quasi-static process and reversible process, we know that quasi-static process is the process which has been performed in such a way that at each point it has been in equilibrium. Okay, but still a quasi-static process may or may not be a reversible process. A reversible process is always a quasi-static process, but a quasi-static process may not be a reversible one. Okay. Now the pure substance. It's another topic that we will read in detail in another lecture, but just for the definition sake, we are studying pure substance. So pure substance is any element, compound or mixture whose chemical composition is homogeneous throughout in all phases. Okay, it means that its chemical composition is a steady. Okay, example is water and water vapor. The mixture of water and water vapor is a pure because its chemical composition is uniform throughout. However, liquid air and air is an impure mixture. Why? Because in liquid air and air mixture, the chemical composition of the mixture would not be uniform throughout. Okay. Why does this happen? Because air consists of so many gases and every gas has a different melting point, okay, freezing point. So even if you have liquefied the air, the due to different freezing point and melting point, the composition would not be the same as it had been in the liquid as it had been the gaseous form. Okay, hence the air and liquid air is a impure mixture, impure substance. Now Gibbs phase rule. Okay, so Gibbs phase rule is P plus F is equal to C plus 2. P is the number of phases present in equilibrium. F is the degree of freedom or minimum number of independent intensive variable required, and C is the number of chemical components. Okay, P is the number of phases, F is the degree of freedom or number of intensive variables, and C is the number of chemical components. Okay, for example, water at triple point. Okay, so at triple point, water has all the three phases in equilibrium, that is solid, liquid and gas. So number of phases is 3. However, number of chemical component is just one, H2O. So we put in the formula of Gibbs phase rule and we get that degree of freedom is 0 at that point. Okay, at triple point degree of freedom is 0. Second is a mixture of oxygen and nitrogen. So once again, number of phase is just one, gas phase. Number of components are 2, oxygen and nitrogen. From the Gibbs phase rule, we get degree of freedom is equal to 3. Now liquid and vapor mixture. So here we have two phases, one liquid, one gas, and number of components is just one, water. So here we have degree of freedom is equal to 1. Now this is just a 1 mark question. The degree of freedom of a saturated liquid is equal to 1 and degree of freedom for a saturated vapor is 2. Now as we have been saying, the triple point of water. So triple point of water is the point at which temperature is 0.01 degree centigrade and pressure is 0.61 kilopascal. Okay. Now zeroth law of thermodynamics. This is the basic of temperature measurements. Okay, all the thermometers are based on or all the temperature measurement are based on zeroth law of thermodynamics. So zeroth law of thermodynamics states that if two bodies are in equilibrium with a third body, it means that the two bodies are in thermal equilibrium with each other. Okay. Now thermocouple. So the thermocouple works on the Seebeck effect. So what is Seebeck effect? That EMF generated between the nodes is equal to temperature difference between the nodes. Okay. Now thermometer can be used with using the gas laws also. So if you have constant volume, you can make a constant volume thermometer using Gay-Lussac law, in which volume is assumed constant. So if volume is assumed constant, means the ratio of pressure by temperature is constant. So if you have the value of three values, if you have, it means if you have a pressure and temperature of a reference point and pressure at a different point, so you can find the temperature of that point also. Okay, it means that if you have the value of P1 T1 and P2, you can find the T2 value. Now Charles law or constant pressure thermometer. Here we have pressure as constant, hence V by T ratio is constant. So we can find similarly, if you have the V1 T1 and V2 value, you can find the T2, hence temperature at point 2, if you have the volume and temperature values of other three required. Now this concept is mostly required in entropy questions, that electricity is work and not heat. So if you are given current, resistance or voltage values, then the value that you will be getting is work, not heat. Okay, so I square RT is equal to V square by R into T is equal to IV is equal to work done, not produced. Work done or produced, not heat. Okay, I is the current, R is the resistance, T is time, V is voltage. Okay, now temperature conversion between degree and Fahrenheit and temperature conversion between Kelvin and degree centigrade. Okay, 273.15. Okay, now 1 Kelvin is equal to 1 by 273.15 of the triple point of water. Okay, which is the standard fixed point of thermometry. Triple point of water is the standard fixed point of thermometry. If you have given the change in temperature, then you can find delta degree Fahrenheit is equal to 9 by 5 into delta degree centigrade. Okay, okay, now the 0 degree centigrade correspond to 32 degree of Fahrenheit and 100 degree centigrade correspond to 212 degree Fahrenheit. So you can find using this formula also the conversion of degree Celsius and degree Fahrenheit. Okay, now calibration of thermometer. So calibration is done at certain points. So if you have done the calibration of a thermometer, it means that if you take two thermometers and uh, try to match the readings between them, it would not be possible that every point will give the same readings. Okay, because whenever the thermometer is calibrated, it gives the same value at those point at which it has been calibrated. Okay, now point function and path function. Path function we will see after that. Now the point function. So point functions are the property of the system and are exact differential. Exact differential means cyclic integral is equal to 0. Okay, so point function is equal to property of the system is equal to exact differential, all the same things. Okay, if any property of the system is given, it means it's a point function, and anything that's a point function is a exact differential, means cyclic integral is equal to 0. Okay, so cyclic integral of pressure, volume, temperature, energy all equal to 0. Now absolute zero pressure and absolute zero temperature. So absolute zero pressure is the pressure at which molecular momentum of the system is 0, and same way absolute zero temperature is the temperature at which molecular momentum of the system is equal to 0. Okay, now you will study it in third law of thermodynamics, that absolute zero temperature is not possible anyway. Okay, you cannot get absolute zero temperature. Even the space that we have, means the a space outside earth. Okay, the space is there, even the space is not at 0 degree centigrade. Okay, 0 degree Kelvin, 0 degree Kelvin, absolute zero temperature is 0 Kelvin. Okay, so even the space outside the earth is not at 0 Kelvin. Okay, now work is said to be done by the system if its sole effect outside the system, outside the boundary of the system, can be converted into raising weight. Okay, so we will compute the work done by the thermodynamic system in constant volume, constant pressure, constant temperature, adiabatic system, polytropic system. We will compute all these works. So all these works that we are getting has to do the work of raising weight. If it can do that work, then only we will say that work is done by the system. Why? Because work done is always equal to force into displacement. Okay, now force is the weight and dx is the displacement. Okay, so if you are saying that work is done by the system, it means that using this work we can raise a weight. Okay, work in closed system or various non-flow system. Okay, so in reversible time, in reversible closed system, we get the dw is equal to pdv, or w is equal to integration of pdv, means area under pv diagram. Now path function. Path function depend upon the history, that is the path followed. Okay, not just on the initial and final states, as the point function depend only on the points. Okay, so if you are going from one point to another, point function will depend only on the initial and final point. However, the path function depends on the path followed. All the path that has been followed, path function depend upon that. Okay, now the types of or the examples of path function are heat and work. Okay, which are also called boundary phenomenon. Both these heat and work are boundary phenomenon. Okay, now path function is inexact differential, means cyclic integral is not equal to 0. Okay, now non-flow or closed system work in various quasi-static process. Now isochoric process, which is also called isometric or constant volume process. So constant volume means change in volume is equal to 0. So closed system reversible work is equal to 0, because dv is equal to 0 means pdv is equal to 0. So work done is 0. Now isobaric or isoplastic or constant pressure process, W1 is equal to integration from 1 to 2 pdv is equal to p v2 minus v1, because pressure is a constant, it has been taken out from the integration and we are integrating only dv, so v2 minus v1. Isothermal process is a constant temperature process, so change in internal energy is equal to 0. Now pv is equal to constant, so work done from 1 to 2 is equal to integration 1 to 2 pdv is equal to p1 v1 ln v2 by v1 is equal to mrt1 ln v2 by v1, and p1 v1 ln p1 by p2 is equal to mrt1 ln p1 by p2. Okay, r is the gas constant here, T is the temperature in Kelvin. Okay, PR absolute, P is the absolute pressure, V is the total volume. Now adiabatic process. In adiabatic process, dq is equal to 0, no heat transfer. Work done is equal to P1 V1 minus P2 V2 by gamma minus 1, or Mr T1 minus T2 by gamma minus 1. Similarly, in polytropic process, P1 V1 minus P2 V2 by n minus 1 is equal to Mr T1 minus T2 n minus 1. Okay. Now adiabatic process, we have gamma is equal to Cp by Cv, means the ratio of a specific heat at constant pressure and a specific heat at constant volume. Now the gamma value is 1.4 for diatomic gases and air, and 1.334 for triatomic gases. In polytropic process, the polytropic index is less than adiabatic index and greater than 1. Now all the works that have been computed here, all these works that we did, has the unit joule, not joule per kg. Okay, that is the work done by the whole mass of the system. Okay, now we will see various curves that we deal with in PV coordinates or TS coordinate. Okay, so these are the curves. Okay, so in TS plane you are seeing that horizontal curve, horizontal line correspond to n is equal to 1. Now n is equal to 1 means temperature is equal to constant. Okay, okay, horizontal line is there. This is the temperature coordinate, this is parallel to it, perpendicular to it. So n is equal to 1 for isothermal, n is equal to 1.4 for adiabatic, n is equal to n for polytropic, as you know. Now n is equal to infinity for constant volume, n is equal to 0 for constant pressure. Okay, now as you can see, the slope of isobaric curve or constant pressure curve is less than that of the constant volume curve or isochoric curve. Okay, so theta v is greater than theta p. Okay, in the TS plane. Now understand this PV curve. Okay, pressure versus volume curve. Okay, in the PV curve you can see that the index is increasing in the clockwise direction. Okay, this is n is equal to 0. In the clockwise, when you move up, so n is equal to 1, n is equal to n, n is equal to gamma. Now the polytropic index is less than adiabatic index. Oh, okay, so n is equal to 0, n is equal to 1, n is equal to n, n is equal to gamma, and n is equal to infinity. Okay, n is equal to infinity for constant volume. Once again, we have n is equal to 0, n is equal to 1, n is equal to gamma, and n is equal to infinity. So in PV diagram, clockwise n increases. Okay, now n for different cycles are here. N is equal to 0 for constant baric, constant pressure or isobaric, n is equal to 1 for isothermal, n is equal to n for polytropic, n is equal to gamma for adiabatic, n is equal to infinity for isochoric. Okay, now area enclosed by the curve is maximum in case of n is equal to 0 or isobaric curve. Okay, as you can see that area under the curve, this curve n is equal to 0 is the maximum. Okay, hence W max means work done is max in case of isobaric process. And this is the reason that in all these applied thermodynamics process, you will see all the cycles that you see in the applied thermodynamics, be it Rankine cycle, Brayton cycle, vapor compression cycle, whatever you will see, or IC engines, whatever you see that heat is supplied at constant pressure so that we can get the maximum work output. Okay, now theta p is equal to T by Cp. T is the absolute temperature, Cp is the a specific heat at constant pressure, and theta v is equal to T by Cv, that is T is in absolute temperature in Kelvin and Cv is a specific heat at constant volume. Okay, now that you can see that theta v is greater than theta p implies Cp is greater than Cv. Now all clockwise cycles on PV or TS diagram produces work, and all anti-clockwise cycles on PV or TS diagram consumes work. Area under PV diagram is equal to net work output or net work interaction during the cycle. Net work output or net work consumed, whatever it is, it will the network interaction during the cycle. Okay. Now see one question. Okay, that the cycle has been given. Now this is a clockwise cycle. Okay, so it's a work producing cycle. Work net is equal to work from 1 to 2 plus 2 to 3 and plus 3 to 1. Okay, now you have to understand this, that expansion work is a positive work and compression work is a negative work. Why? In expansion volume increases, so it's a positive work. PdV, V is positive, dV is positive, so work is positive. In compression dV is negative, so work is negative. Realization of various process. Okay, how would you understand that which process is which? If you are not given it's a constant volume or constant pressure or adiabatic or isothermal or polytropic process, how would you assume, how would you get that which process is which? Okay, so if it's given that it's a air sealed room or a closed room or it's a rigid container, it means it's a constant volume process. Okay, if it's given that piston is free to move and external forces are not changing during the process, it means it's a isobaric process. Okay, because external pressure are not changing, so constant pressure. Now if it's given insulated system, means no heat transfer, means it's a adiabatic process. And if it's given that heat supplied is less while the work done by the system is more, it means it's a adiabatic process. Now ideal gas equation. Okay, so PV is equal to MRT, or P a specific volume is equal to RT, or P is equal to rho RT, rho is the density, or PV is equal to N R bar T. Okay, R is gas constant while R bar is universal gas constant. Okay, now P is the absolute pressure of the system or absolute pressure of the gas, means P atmospheric plus P gauge in Pascal. V is the total volume of the system or total volume of the gas. M is the mass of the system or mass of the gas. R is the gas constant is equal to universal gas constant by atomic or molecular mass of the gas. Now the value of universal gas constant is 8.314 joule per gram Kelvin or kilojoule per kilogram Kelvin, or 8.314 joule per mole Kelvin or 8.314 kilojoule per kilomole Kelvin. Okay. Now T is the temperature of the system in Kelvin and N is the number of moles of the gas. Okay. So these four are the ideal gas equation. Okay. P is the pressure, V is the total volume, M is the mass, R is the gas constant, T is the temperature in Kelvin. This is a specific volume, this is density, this is number of moles. Now universal gas constant is equal to gas constant of ideal gases. Universal gas constant of air is equal to 0.287 kilojoule per kilogram Kelvin. Mass of air is 29. Okay. Now this equation you can apply everywhere. Okay, that PV by T is equal to constant for all anywhere, and T2 by T1 is equal to P2 by P1 to the power n minus 1 by n is equal to V1 by V2 to the power n minus 1 in terms of a specific volume, V1 by V2 to the power n minus 1, and in terms of density rho 2 by rho 1 to the power n minus 1, because a specific volume is nothing but inverse of density. Okay. Now heat. Heat is the mode of heat transfer due to temperature difference. This is a path function and inexact differential. This all has been said before. sign convention is heat added to the system is positive, heat rejected from the system is negative. Now work, heat sign convention is done. Now the sign convention of work, that work done by the system is positive and work done on the system is negative. Okay, example of work producing are heat engine and work consuming are heat pump and compressors. Okay, or refrigerator. Now heat capacity is equal to Q by delta T. Okay, Q is the heat supplied, delta T is the temperature difference. If you are asked a specific heat means per unit mass. Anything a specific means per unit mass. Okay, so specific heat capacity is heat capacity per unit mass. Now CV and CP in terms of R and gamma. So CV is equal to R by gamma minus 1. CP is equal to gamma into R by gamma minus 1. CP by CV is equal to gamma. CP minus CV is R. R is the gas constant. Okay? Now these values for air are CP is equal to 1.005 kilojoule per kilogram Kelvin. CV is equal to 0.718 kilojoule per kilogram Kelvin. R is equal to 0.287 kilojoule per kilogram Kelvin. Mass of air is 29, taken as 29. Okay, it is taken as 29. So gamma is equal to 1.4 for air. Okay, these are values are for air. Now we will have latent heat. So in latent heat we have three kinds of latent heat: latent heat of fusion, latent heat of vaporization, and latent heat of sublimation. Latent heat of fusion means the transformation is happening from liquid to solid and solid to liquid. In vaporization, liquid to vapor or vapor to liquid. In sublimation, from solid to vapor direct, okay, or vapor to solid. So what happens in latent heat? We get the phase change without change in temperature. Now this one is a question that when the atmospheric air rushes into the evacuated bottle, we have work done by air is equal to PATM into V bottle. Because it's a evacuated bottle means there is no pressure inside, gauge pressure is 0. So we have only atmospheric pressure. So atmospheric pressure into change in volume is volume of the bottle. So now if the piston head has a mass, okay, if you are given in a question that piston head has a mass, so what would be the pressure of the system? Okay, so pressure of the system would be pressure of the ATM of the atmospheric pressure plus absolute plus the pressure applied by the weight of the piston. Okay, so PATM into area plus W by A. A is the area of cross section of the piston and W is the weight of the piston. Now this is also 1 horsepower is equal to 746 watt. Okay, you can use this. And a specific heat of water is 4.186 kilojoule per kilogram Kelvin. These are all the additional data I am giving you. You have to remember all these. Thank you.